Today's video is 7 things they don't tell you about getting a tattoo. I have a lot of tattoos. I don't know the exact count because pieces go into other pieces, but I have them down my arms. I just got more on this one done. My thigh, my stomach, my neck, back of my neck, my knuckles. So I have had quite of an experience with tattoo shops and tattoo artists and like the whole healing process of tattoos. And I'm just gonna give you 7 facts. If it's your first tattoo, then just keep these in mind if you decide to get a tattoo, or if you have tattoos, then you'll probably understand what I'm saying. So I made these nifty little number things, but I lost number 1 because it flew off my bed and I'm not quite sure where it went. So I also have my sheet of paper to actually remember what I'm talking about. So number 1, on 7 facts they don't tell you about tattoos. The first 10 minutes are always the worst, because it's your body getting used to the feeling, and as soon as it starts, you're like, oh, I don't like this. And then as you ease in, as it passes 10-15 minute mark, you're like, oh, this is not so bad. Usually a safe way to range how long you can sit if you're getting a tattoo for your first time is 3 hours. After 3 hours, your body starts shaking and it realizes what's actually happening to it, and it's like, I don't want this anymore. I can sit for 4 hours though, so I put 4 hours as the benchmark if you have tattoos already. Also, the longer you go and the longer you continue to work on that one part of skin, the color may not hold, or the shading or whatever you're using, it may not hold in the skin that well, because it's literally like needles in your skin, and just over and over, and after a while, not all of that is going to hold. So number 2, the feeling of getting tattooed. The best way that I can describe the feeling of getting tattooed is having a really bad sunburn and having a cat just clawing at it, because I think it's anywhere between 50 and 3,000 needle punches a minute. I think I read that somewhere. Don't know if that's true or not, but those are needles going through multiple layers of skin so that the ink will hold in your body. But that's the safest bet on how it feels. Just a really think of the worst sunburn you ever had, and then think of a cat attacking you for 3 hours after that. Now we're on to number 3. Does it hurt? Yes and no. It depends on where the tattoo on your body is, because overall, yeah, tattoos hurt. It's needles going into your body. It's an open wound when you're done. It's bleeding and fleshy and sore. For me, my worst was my knuckles. I'm fine with sitting through tattoo pain, but as soon as I got my knuckles done, my tattoo artist started laughing hysterically at me, because I usually don't feel the pain of tattoos, or I just sit there but yeah, my knuckles were by far the most painful thing. I would not do it again if I had the choice, or had to go back in time and redo it. Would not do it again. Second most painful spot I've had tattooed is here on the inside of my arm. That is a very squishy, tender part of your arm, and that you don't think that it would hurt that bad, but it really hurts, especially if they're dry rubbing it. Areas like this over here, they don't hurt too bad. Down here on your wrist area, that kind of hurts. The sides of your arm, they hurt. Anywhere where it's closer to the bone generally hurts more. Number 4, colors. So one of the things that you may not know about colors is that depending on your body, you can have a negative reaction to whatever color they use, or the ink that is used on you. It depends on the brand and everything and the ingredients in it. But I know people that have had the same brand, same type of blue that are in my tattoos I have on me, I have not had a reaction. They've had a very bad allergic reaction where there's like scarring and welts and like none of the ink holds after all that. So just make sure you know what you're putting into your body before, because tattoo ink is just chemicals that are meant to hold in your body. So of course there's going to be some kind of reaction to them. Some colors might affect you, unlike other ones, like purples and blues. I know of sometimes reds. It's literally any color, and it really all depends on your body and what it's allergic to. Number 5, ink. So when you get your tattoo done, depends where it is, but the color can come out of your tattoo so it looks like there is no tattoo there, or a very faded tattoo. Some of these spots are your elbow or your knees. My tattoo artist tattooed his knee twice and it didn't hold either time. So any area that's constantly moving or rubbing against things is not likely to hold the ink that well, and it will come out and fade. I've also heard that happens with like knuckle and hand tattoos. My hand tattoos are a bit faded. I got them about 4 years ago, 3-4 years, but they're a bit faded. But tattoos do wear over time, but some spots, just like your elbows and your knees, just the ink does not stay in them. Another thing, after you get tattooed, the ink from your tattoos, I do not recommend anyone wearing white when they get a tattoo, because it can stain your clothing, which will ruin it. All of that, like pus and stuff, will go into your clothes. Also, your clothes stick to them. Tattoos secrete blood and another thing I cannot remember for the life of me what it's called right now. Like kind of like a pus, sort of. But they just like excrete liquids after you get them tattooed. Usually between 3 and 5 days, I would say. So your clothes will stick to it. If you're wearing a white shirt, more than likely, it will stick to that, and then your tattoo will bleed out onto your shirt, and then you will have a ruined white shirt. I have a pillow, when I got this one done, on my white pillow, it still has this entire tattoo on it, because when I slept on it, all that liquid and stuff was coming out of my arm, and it stained my white pillow, so now I have the Joker on my pillow. It looks really cool, but I woke up and my arm was like stuck to it, and that was not fun. When I got my thigh piece done, I wore pants to work, and I tried to take them off, and I literally ended up like peeling layers of skin off the top of my tattoo onto my pants that had gotten stuck. So on the inside of my pants was like the first layer of skin in the tattoo. So just be careful with what you do. Try and wear loose clothing if it's like a thigh piece or something. Try and wear, if you're a girl, skirts, if you're a guy, shorts, just like loose fitting clothes. Don't wear anything extra tight. On to 6, healing. Okay, so tattoo artists will probably tell you about this. We'll give you like a little sheet or a write-up on things to do when they heal, what's going to happen. One thing is that if you get a lot of saturation work, that's like colors, dark blacks, multiple sessions, if it's a lot of time on one area of skin, then that area, it took most of the damage, and your skin is literally like hamburger meat after. So, it will swell. That's the main thing. Every time I get tattooed or like saturation work, I forget about the swelling. And I always swell ridiculous amounts. When I had my hands done, this is their normal size. It was about up here. And at that point in time, I was working at the Subway and had to wear gloves. So that was very uncomfortable. My arm, I just got this done last week, like the color and him. My arm swelled about an inch in diameter more around, and I felt like the skin was splitting down the sides. So just a heads up, they will swell, and it will be very painful. Another one. Oh, so usually the stages of healing, at least with me, this could be for different people, but you first get the tattoo, and then you want to use some kind of medical ointment for like the first day or two, and then after that, like, just put lotion on it, unscented lotion. That keeps it hydrated, because they get very, very dry and they scab. Like this one right now, I don't know if you can see it. All this darker red here, that's all scabbing. I have it on both sides. It's painful. Do not pick it. It will bleed. I have a very bad problem with like picking at the scabs on my tattoos. I know it's gross and they end up bleeding. That can damage the tattoo. It can scar it. It can help make it lose color in areas that you're picking. No face, if you can see him. Up here, right here, it's whiter because I had scabs there and I kept picking them when it was healing, and that's why the color didn't hold as well in that area. So just stay away from picking your tattoos, and be aware that they probably will scab depending on what you get. So after the scabbing is all done and the scabs all fall off and everything, and when you'll use lotion, about 2 weeks later, it will get very, very itchy. And you're not supposed to scratch it. Do not scratch your tattoo. What I do is I slap it. Like, anytime it itches, I slap it instead of scratching it, because you pull the skin and it's already irritated enough. If you're getting multiple sessions on one, I suggest a month in between just for the healing process, a month minimum. The healing process and getting through that awful stage of itching, because nothing is worse than having like a tattoo itch very bad and then getting a new one that you have to heal with it. But they do get very itchy. Now on to number 7, my favorite. You pay for what you get. A lot of people complain that tattoos are very expensive, and that all depends on where you go. People will come into work and ask me how much I spent for this tattoo or that tattoo, or they're like, oh, well, do you have any idea what this would cost for me to get? And I'm like, I'm not a tattoo artist. I can give you my best guess. It also depends on where you go. You pay for what you get for. If you are paying $200 for a sleeve, it is going to be most likely a terrible, hand scratchy, uneven line, not good color sleeve. If you pay $1,500 for a sleeve, it's probably going to be a legit, gorgeous, beautiful to look at sleeve that's going to hold over time. People will come in and they'll be like, oh, well, I only paid $40 for like this piece right here, and I'm like, and it looks like you paid $40 for that. One thing about tattoos is if you're going to have them forever, regardless. Tattoo removal, if you end up getting that in the future or getting a cover-up, it does not cover the entire tattoo. So you're literally paying for something the rest of your life. Do not look up like best cheap prices in your area, because you could be in a very expensive tattoo area with high quality work shops. So they're going to be expensive. I know Kat Von D is $1,000 down payment on her tattoos. That's because of the work she puts out and because she like made a name for herself. But she puts out solid work. On average, tattoo shops, a regular shop would be about $100 an hour. Or they give you prices for if you're just getting a piece, or like if you want a sleeve, they'll give you like basic pricing on that. I usually do the hourly price because I tend to have big pieces that need multiple sessions. So a standard cost for me to get a tattoo would be $300 for one session. Not even the tattoo, just one session. The color and him, 4 hours, $300. Tattoos, sleeves are not done in a day. It is literally a year of work, like hours and hours. My thigh piece was 20 hours of work, and it took a year to finish, and it's a huge green arrow piece if you guys have ever seen it in any of my pictures or anything. And people go into tattoo shops thinking, oh, well, I'm going to get my entire sleeve done today. No. You are going to be lucky if you get the outline of your sleeve done in a 5-hour session today. You will not walk out of there with a brand new entire sleeve done. I don't know what kind of shop would do that. But if you do that much saturation work in one day, the color's not going to hold. It's going to be very painful and very long and probably not that good. But I'm sure I'm making a lot of people angry with this video, and they're like, oh, well, my piece was $50 and look at it. I have seen some nice pieces that are at very low prices. Overall, though, you don't want to pay $50 for a tattoo piece unless it's one of those like Star Wars themed Star Wars Day ones, or like October 31st Halloween Flash one. flash designs usually, like for holidays, usually run cheaper. But other than that, you generally want to, you pay for what you get. That's what I'm gonna leave you at. But I hope these tips help some people. I hope some people can like see where I'm coming from with some of these. Trying to think if there was anything. Oh, last part. If this is your first tattoo ever, and you get saturation work in it, washing it the first couple times will probably hurt more than getting the tattoo itself. Just a heads up. But everyone, you have a lovely day. Leave comments below. That's all. Bye.